What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dylan, and I'm making a video today about this Tua situation, and Tua being named the starter for the game against the Rams that's 2 weeks away, right? So obviously, questioning the timing because it's suspicious, right? But we'll get into all that. So let's break this down because there's more developments in that whole thing. Let's note though that we also yesterday found out that the Dolphins team found out through Instagram and through Rick Ross posting something on IG, congratulating him. Rick Ross also is a minority owner of the Dolphins, so he probably is actually privy to information that most people aren't. And so that's how the news broke, right? He congratulated Tua on Instagram. We found out that the entire team found out that way, etc., etc. And so we saw in the game, our last game, right, against the Jets, when Tua went in, we saw Fitz on the sideline hyping him up and all of that. Well, there's actually a development in that regard today. And so the first thing, there's a couple things I'm going to go through here, but the first one is Ryan Fitzpatrick talks benching for Tua Tagovailoa, says it broke his heart. Okay, so much for the Miami Dolphins and Ryan Fitzpatrick having a mutual understanding on Tua Tagovailoa's takeover of the starting quarterback job, probably because he felt, at least in part because he felt he was doing well, and there just literally is no reason for it. He hasn't gotten hurt. He's been playing pretty well overall. Why would you do it? There's literally no practical reason for it. I'm telling you, the only reason why this happened is simply because of the hype. The hype from fans and the hype from media. So Brian Flores is a complete liar when he said that he was not going to do it before that because he considers Tua one of his kids and he wouldn't want his kids' coaches rushing him in just because of media hype. Well, that turned out to be a fucking lie because it only took him 2 weeks to put him in a circumstance and situation where it doesn't make any fucking sense. There was no need for it. There was no urgency for it. There was no reason for it other than the fact that he happened to step on the fucking field. And once that taste was in people's mouths, that was all it took. And again, I don't know this. I cannot substantiate this. It is purely speculation, so I don't know how more clear I can make that. But I'm guessing that after Stephen Ross saw his new toy on the field, he's the one that said to Flores, make the change. And that is a compelling reason why he could fucking change his tune in a heartbeat. Because not only is Brian Flores a liar, but he's also a sellout. And he's lied on multiple occasions. He told Laramie Tunsil he wasn't going to trade him and then traded him, right? So there are literally several examples to this point now of Brian Flores straight up lying, okay? Including, right? I was rewatching the Dolphins game and the commentators mentioned that after the game against the 49ers, in which we destroyed them even worse than we did the Jets, who's actually a far worse team and dealing with at least as many injuries, right? After that game, Brian Flores was asked about putting Tua in, and his response was, what's the point? Why put him in for garbage time when all he's going to do is hand the ball off? But then he did it in this game against the Jets. So you're a fucking liar. Yet again. He just says shit, as most people do, for convenience and, whatever's gonna fucking, suit the narrative best at that moment. Total fucking bullshit. Total bullshit. Anyway, let's continue on, though. Fitzpatrick met with reporters Wednesday and laid bare his emotions after being benched, saying the decision broke his heart. I was shocked by it. It definitely caught me off guard. It was a hard thing for me to hear yesterday, just digesting the news. My heart just hurt all day, Fitzpatrick said. I mean, bro, and I don't know, man, I've gotten the feeling that the players haven't really bought so much into Brian Flores and the regime as much as they've bought into Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe they actually do, you know, fucking think what Flores is doing is, you know, right on. The way he fucked over Kenny Stills, lied to Tunsil and just traded him. The way he, you know, co-signed and helped to purge the entire roster and accept a tanking philosophy. Maybe they're cool with all that shit, right? I don't know. Maybe they're cool with this fucking benching, even though it was a complete surprise to fucking everybody, and they had to learn about it on Instagram from Rick Ross, right? So like, and not from their head coach, right? He added, "I felt like it was my team." Man, I'm telling you, bro, this decision could have more. And look, it won't even necessarily say anything bad about Tua, right? But the team could quit on Flores. I'm not saying they're gonna, and honestly, right now, that might be a bit of a stretch, especially because they are now in contention for the division and for the playoffs, etc. I'm not sure that that would happen. But the players certainly could lose respect for him based on this move, let alone previous moves. I mean, you know, there was talk. It didn't happen. But there was talk about there being like a strike if they decided to fucking, you know, trade Tunsil, right? So, you know, those things add up. And eventually they're like, yo, what the fuck? I don't know. We'll see. But there is one way to know for sure, you know, if the players visibly start to like, you know, lack in effort, or if they even come out and say it, well, there you go, right? Again, that's one of those things that's just kind of speculation. I mean, I've believed pretty wholeheartedly that it's not so much Flores and this regime that they are, you know, bought in on. I mean, last year, guys were literally just playing for paychecks in their careers and their livelihood. And that still applies very much this season as well. Anyway, and then, you know, you add in the context of all these free agents and veteran players that have decided not to come to Miami and chose other places. Anyway, I don't believe that they actually believe in Flores. You know, I think that they're just playing along because they kind of have to, right? Because if they don't, if they speak out against it, if they were to, especially in some really critical way, well, there's a likelihood that they could lose their job, you know, and get cut. Anyway, the Dolphins made the switch to Tagovailoa on Tuesday, despite the fact that Fitzpatrick led the team to a 3-3 record and back-to-back wins by double digits. Fitzpatrick has thrown for 1,535 yards and 10 touchdowns against 7 interceptions, producing the 7th best 79.6 quarterback rating in the NFL. That's actually pretty bad, though. If 7th best is 79 point... Anyway. But the whole league is fucked up right now. Pro Football Focus also gives Fitzpatrick a solid 75.3 grade on the season. Also not good, but, you know, whatever. From a purely win-now perspective, the move does not make all that much sense. And Fitzpatrick was clearly blindsided. I basically got fired yesterday, and my day today consisted of Zoom meetings with the guy who fired me and sitting in a room with the guy who replaced me for 4 hours, Fitzpatrick told reporters. Wow. Bro, man, these comments, though, coming from Fitzpatrick, and that's part of the reason why I brought up the context of, you know, Fitzpatrick being on the sidelines hyping up Tua, because he is that kind of guy. And, right, like, and he definitely has, I believe in a lot of ways, you know, been helping Tua to come along, and he understands that eventually he was going to give the reins over. But when he's playing well and the team is doing relatively well overall, right, and he's not injured, why would he think he would lose the fucking job? There literally is no reason for it other than that taste. That taste. They got the shiny toy on the field. They got a taste, even though he didn't show anything because there was nothing to show. Because Brian Flores was right. There is no point in putting him in for fucking 5 plays of garbage time when he's just going to hand it off for the most part. Like, there is no point. But of course he didn't really actually mean it after the 49ers game, because then he went and did it in the Jets game. Literally a week later, went and did the thing he said he doesn't see any reason or point in doing. And then you know, 2 weeks after saying, I don't see any reason to rush him along, he fucking throws him in. I mean, full of shit. And these, you know, comments from Fitzpatrick are pretty fucking huge. And it could cause, there is potential for it to cause a rift within the organization. And again, and it might not even be because the players have anything against Tua. It's just the decision, the timing of the decision, and how the decision was made, right? Dude, if you think players don't notice that shit, then you're ridiculous. Anyway, the situation could be leading to a trade of Fitzpatrick ahead of the November 3rd deadline. Oh, bro. If they do that, oh my God, that would be... Wow, man. I hadn't even thought about that. This is actually, and you know, I'm reading through this as I do it in my video. Bro, if they did that, that would be a huge mistake. There are several teams with playoff aspirations that could use a bump at the quarterback spot, including the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, but technically, that wouldn't make any sense either, because technically the Dolphins are in it, right? I mean, they're literally one game behind the fucking Bills right now for the division, and miraculously, which of course doesn't, the reality of the situation is not that the fucking Dolphins are really that improved or that great, but because of the, you know, massive other factors that are involved. Anyway, but like, I mean, Dak Prescott, they mentioned the quarterback position and the Dallas Cowboys in particular. Yeah, that's because Dak Prescott just fucking broke his ankle. I mean, you know, like, okay. So anyway, it's likely that Fitzpatrick would at least be a marginal upgrade over Andy Dalton, who struggled in his debut as the starter last week after Dak Prescott's season-ending injury. Regardless, Fitz does not appear to be the veteran willing to happily hold a clipboard the rest of the season. Oh, bro. I mean, look, but they're causing problems. They're causing huge problems. Anyway, but it gets more interesting. It gets even more interesting because Tua gave a response. Okay. This is what he had to say. I was very excited. That's news that I think anyone would love to hear, being named the starter at any position. But at the same time, I also felt for Fitz as well. Me and Fitz had a conversation about all of this. Like I've continued to say, although it kind of hurts me in a way to see Fitz hurt, I'm just very, very lucky to have someone like Fitz in my corner, regardless of the situation we're in right now. See, and that's what I'm saying, right? Fitz is going to be a good dude, right? Like, he's going to back him, and he's going to be there for him, right? Which Tua just said, right? So, there's all the evidence you need. But, I mean, it's unreasonable to think that he wouldn't be upset. Because this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, he's just, I hate to say it like this, but it is like this. It's like a father and son. Oh, bro. Oh, my God. All right. Well, I mean, it gets even a little bit more interesting because Brian Flores had something to say about it and explained, you know, why this is the case. So, Flores, Tua Tagovailoa starting over Ryan Fitzpatrick, best thing for Dolphins. Now, before I actually get into this, I'm just going to say right off the bat, it's just bullshit. It's just some fucking, you know, get out of jail free card, some vague ass fucking, you know, cover all bases kind of bullshit answer, you know, that really fucking means nothing. What do you mean, best thing for Dolphins? Again, there's no practical reason, right? And admittedly, I was wrong. I didn't think Tua was going to come in unless Ryan Fitzpatrick played like shit or got hurt. And neither of those things are the case. But Tua's going in. Why? Only because of the pressure. The pressure from the fans, the media, and I'm guaranteeing you, though, there came some pressure from Ross. Ross told him, even though I can't prove it, I guarantee it. I guarantee it because there literally is no other fucking reason. And best thing for the Dolphins, because now we'll see, they're going to have a tough opponent in the Rams. But if they go out and Tua plays and he doesn't play well because, well, you know, he's a rookie and various other reasons, blah, blah, blah. But if that doesn't happen, if he doesn't play well and they don't have a good game and they don't win, even if he plays well and they don't win, bro, I mean, like, I mean, we'll see, bruh. We'll see. Anyway, let's get to this article. Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores has confirmed that Tua Tagovailoa will be the starting quarterback coming out of the team's Week 7 bye. Speaking to reporters Wednesday, Flores said the decision to go to Tagovailoa over Ryan Fitzpatrick is the best thing for the team. I mean, it's just bullshit. And, like, again, though, why do it now when, if you were going to make this decision, at least if you wanted to sell that as, you know, the legitimate reason, then you would wait until right before the game. Because then you could say, man, over this bye week and the fucking week of practice that we had, man, Tua just really impressed. Even though Ryan Fitzpatrick's doing great. He's doing well. You know, the team won their past 2 games and, you know, we're a game behind, blah, blah, blah. Like, despite all that, you know, Tua just had this fucking phenomenal week of practice, and so it's what's best for the team. Like, if you were going to do that, you would wait until then. You wouldn't do it right now after, coincidentally, right after he just took the field, and there was a big fucking deal made out about it, right? A big fucking deal made out about it. And it's important, actually, that I mention that Rick Ross is a minority owner of the team, right? Because not only did the fans make a big deal out of it, not only did the media make a big deal out of it, not only did national television make a big deal out of it, right? They started showing ads again too. I noticed while the Dolphins were doing shitty, they stopped showing those NFL shop ads that have the Tua Tagovailoa jersey in it. They stopped showing that for a minute. But then as soon as he fucking goes in, there it was again. I'm telling you, bro. And then one of the minority owners puts it on blast on social media that Tua has taken over. So now it's almost impossible for Brian Flores to change his mind. Even if Stephen Ross didn't tell him to fucking make the decision or make the change in the first place. It's nearly impossible for him to backtrack now, right? At least until, you know, we see what happens in the next couple games, right? But I'm telling you, that's the only reason. It was the pressure. It was the pressure. That's it. The pressure for that shiny new toy to be on the field, for the franchise quarterback, the face of the franchise, the dude who's getting all these fucking, you know, deals. That was obviously the first round pick, who was a star at Alabama, one of the top schools, blah, blah, blah. That's the only reason it happened. Anyway, Flores added the coaching staff has seen a lot of improvement from Tua and all our rookies since the start of training camp. So, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? So, that still doesn't fucking justify the switch. That's still not an adequate explanation, and you would hope that's the case. That's what you want to be the case, right? The more they get comfortable, the more that they learn the playbook. All of that is expected. If that doesn't happen, then there's an issue. Now, the rate of which that happens, you know, is a different story. But there's nothing to indicate that he, you know, has just all of a sudden mastered everything and is going to be a complete superstar when he hits the field. There is no data that would suggest that. So it's bullshit, total bullshit. The Dolphins selected Tagovailoa with 5th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft with the goal of him becoming their franchise quarterback. There were questions about Tagovailoa, though. He had surgery last November to repair a dislocated hip and posterior wall fracture suffered during Alabama's win over Mississippi State. And that's the big thing. That's the big risk. If he gets hurt, if they put him in this game and he gets hurt, or if he gets hurt at all starting this season or being on the field playing this season, bro, man, I mean, that shit is gonna fucking blow up so fast. Durability was an issue for him at times in college. The 22-year-old, and he hasn't even taken a snap, or he has taken a snap in the NFL. He's barely taken a snap in the NFL, but he hasn't gotten hit yet. And the Dolphins haven't played anybody yet with any serious pass rush because the teams that even do have it, their players were injured, right? So, dude, I'm telling you, bro, like, this is a massive disaster brewing and waiting to happen. Let's see, the 22-year-old had 5 different surgical procedures, including 1 on each ankle and 1 for a broken finger between 2018 and 2019. And then obviously the hip as well. Tagovailoa's agent, Chris Cabot, told, see, that's what you call injury prone. The dude consistently gets injured. Ryan Tannehill, on the other hand, who has had 1 injury and hasn't had any since, is not injury prone. Massive difference. Tagovailoa's agent, Chris Cabot, told Yahoo Sports' Eric Edholm in March that Tagovailoa was fully cleared and ready to compete without any restrictions. Miami gave it, and that's another thing, and that's part of what leads me to believe that Stephen Ross said something. Because, in Stephen Ross's mind, the medicals couldn't be a fucking problem, because he literally got as positive a report every single time as could possibly be. Like, there wasn't a single report about his medical condition that wasn't like miraculous and glowing and spectacular and super over the top. So he's like, bro, just put him in. This is what we tanked last year for. This is why we fucking stripped our team of talent. Let's also note that, Minkah Fitzpatrick balling out for the Steelers, Laramie Tunsil balling out for the Texans, even though they're not doing well. That's not his fault. He's doing his part. That's, Bill O'Brien's fault, because he's a shit fucking head coach and a GM, and it's about time they fired him. And they've clearly, in the 2 games they've played, done phenomenally better under Romeo Crennel, who I think that they should keep as head coach. Anyway, moving on. Kenyon Drake doing great with the Cardinals. Even though they're not that great, he's still balling out and doing his part. Tannehill fucking crushing it with the Titans, right? Anyway, look, whatever. So Miami gave its prized rookie his first game exposure late in the 4th quarter of Sunday's 24-0 win over the New York Jets. He completed both of his pass attempts for 9 yards. Tagovailoa will make his first career start for the Dolphins on November 1st at Hard Rock Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams. That's a 4-2 team. They're tough, and they're pretty healthy overall. They still have their fair share of injuries for sure, and have had their fair share of injuries, but they are definitely a lot healthier than some of the teams that we've played, and they are going to definitely be a test for us. So we'll see how it goes, man. But there's definitely, especially as this, continues to develop, where we're getting these, these comments from Fitz, and the fact that the entire team was just like caught off guard. I'm telling you, man, there could be more problems, significant problems on the horizon. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got for you. Those are my updates. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dylan Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.